Welcome back to the show, Crypto Week and so much more. Guess what went live today? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You could follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, $3.87 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 0.5%, but look how close we're getting to $4 trillion. The money's coming in. Bitcoin now 121,700 plus. It's screaming. Ethereum over $3,000 now. And XRP at the number 3 spot, 296. Now we're up 5.7 in the 24-hour. We're up 29.8 on the 7-day. Look at the range of price as we hit 301 hours ago. There it is right there. Shout out to Anders for catching it. This is getting exciting, but you know what? This is why I've been telling you about the different places that I diversify my crypto asset holdings on. iTrustCapital is one of them. And iTrustCapital offers IRAs in which you can do this. And they also offer a brand new PCA, Premium Custody Account. Now, if you're a long-term holder and you just want to hold the asset, this was specifically designed for you. This is no joke. This is real. And if you're a new client, you can get a $100 funding bonus. But let me tell you something. The founder himself was hit with a SIM swap attack, I think last year or in the past. And I tell you, they know firsthand what it's like to be hacked. And this is why they created the closed loop system with the PCA. It's so you don't have to go into an IRA, or let's say that you already have your IRA like I do. And then you also want to have a standalone PCA. You still get institutional grade custody for free, no monthly cost, 1% flat trading fee. This is a beautiful setup. Why is it a closed end system? What makes it different from a regular exchange? The fact that you can go in with your crypto, but you have to come out with cash, and it can only go to your checking account that you've connected and set up to it. So God forbid if something happened to you and you were SIM swapped, attacked on your phone or otherwise, that's the worst thing that could happen here. And if that's the kind of security and kind of protection you want for some of your assets or all of them, this is something you seriously need to check out. iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army. Get started today. You'll love it. Tether cuts ties with 5 blockchains. Isn't this interesting? Now, Tether's the one that's been in question all these years, and now they're cutting ties like somebody else isn't good enough. Oh, this is interesting. Well, Algorand being one of them and Omni, maybe we can ask Austin King what's going on there. Shout out to Austin, who was amazing on stage at XRP Las Vegas 25 and crushed it. Hope you're doing well, everybody over there at Omni. And then take a look at this. Exclusive, Ripple plans stablecoin entry into the EU. It is registering as a Luxembourg institution to comply with MiCA regulations. And voila, here it is, right here, right? There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We love seeing it. I love seeing it. You love seeing it. Listen, you know, Tether has been pushed out with the MiCA regulations. And until we hear any different, they're going to be pushed out here in the U.S., and we've even heard one congressional representative say that it may be better for them to just create a new business than to try to get Tether into the U.S. That's how dysfunctional they feel Tether actually is in its current state. But I want to take you back to this old clip. For those that don't know, this is Yoshitaka Kitao from SBI, the CEO of SBI at the time, not anymore. He's still a board member. Remember, SBI invested in R3 and Ripple years and years ago. He has been a very, very big advocate for distributed ledger technology, Ripple and XRP. And in this clip, he talks about, and I won't, I mean, he's speaking in Japanese here, but I will keep it muted. But I just want to open this up so you can see. He's talking about the court case ending. And basically, once the court case is over, he sees XRP's potential going really high and that Ripple could go for an IPO. That's basically what he says in this video here. Now, this was years ago that he had made this comment. And I think a lot of people from this have derived that you hear everybody say Japan will be using XRP by 2025. I think some of that may have come from this positive statement, even though he didn't say that in the statement. However, today's current CEO of SBI is, now I'm going to mess this up, Mr. Asakura. Let's go with that. Yeah. Tomama, I don't know. I'm going to go with Mr. Asakura. We're going to leave it there. I'm going to get my needle stuck. Will be a 40-minute video. Nonetheless, CEO of SBI currently today has stated that XRP represents the wealth transfer of our generation. And that's exactly what he said, according to this article right here. The wealth transfer of our generation. He emphasized its growing global adoption by banks and financial institutions, adding that its value could rise further as adoption increases. And we know right now we're at $3, just under $3 right now. We know Ripple's custodying with BNY Mellon. They're applying for a bank. There's so many great things going on. And leave it to the New York Times to put out an article here, The Crypto Perfect's Art of the Spiel to Win Over the President. You know, there's always an angle, right? You know, this is more of the Brad Sherman, Elizabeth Warren. It's not okay for crypto to have lobbyists. That's not okay. But it's okay for pharmaceuticals to have lobbyists. It's okay for the banks to have lobbyists. Apparently, it's okay with Elizabeth Warren that Gary Gensler, when he was at the SEC, used regulation by enforcement to favor the banking industry. Right? Isn't that what we saw? I mean, he wasn't teaching everybody that at MIT prior to that. He knew the right answers for all the smart kids at MIT and then went to the SEC and did 180 degrees the opposite. Who benefited from it? The banks. There you have it. So, you know, it's funny to see how these articles like a Washington Times or others out here try to spin these articles as if something bad has happened because crypto's finally figured out you got to pay for your voice. Everybody else does. Speaking of that, here we are this week, paid in full. It's crypto week. Look, make no mistake, some of this is tongue-in-cheek. Everybody pays. It's lobbyists. That's the way the system's set up. You don't like it? Change the system. You know, but the reality is here we are. Crypto week is here. Clarity Act, Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, Genius Act. Let's take a look here very quickly here. Nate Garazzi says, welcome to Crypto Week. House votes expected on. Let's break it down. The Genius Act is a stablecoin legislation. If passed, it goes to Trump to be signed into law. The Clarity Act, the crypto market structure bill, would then go back to the Senate for another vote there for any changes. And Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act bans Fed from issuing CBDC, would go to the Senate as well. Okay, great. In my eyes, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, which bans the Fed from issuing CBDCs, is one of the reasons that I see a huge signal that Ripple issuing the real USD stablecoin makes it the Federal Reserve 2.0 because they're serving the institution enterprise side of the market heavily. And it's going to continue. That's how I see it. That's why I see Ripple as the Fed 2.0, because the Fed's not allowed to make a digital dollar. But Ripple is. And they just applied for a banking license and a Fed master account. Isn't that something? And at the same time, guess what went live today? ISO 20022 FedNow, FedWire goes live today. And it is live, in fact. And that brings us to something. Fed ISO Big Bang hits next week, and next week is here, and we are here, and everything is check green right here. It is live, ISO 20022. Why does it matter? It matters because it will begin to open the floodgates for banks. But I do believe that we need legal clarity. I do, and I've said this. And I've said this countless times from my channel, that not only do we need legal clarity, that I said I would be very surprised, pleasantly surprised, if we saw a huge price breakout when ISO 20022 goes live. because everything in my 8 years, I literally just said this again this weekend, everything in my past 8 years in this space has told me that everything is a phase-in operation. And we're waiting for things to become law. Legislation's legislation, but legislation needs to become law. Then we're talking. So all of this is timely. All of this feels coordinated, and it's all in cooperation of each other, but it's not quite there. However, this is still a big moment. After FedWire goes live with the ISO format for both sending and receiving in summer 2025, there will be another major development in the fall, November 2025. SWIFT will adopt MX message types for wire processing. So the floodgates are about to open for the banks and the rest of the financial world. Then there's this. We know that XRP is not ISO 20022 compliant directly. But indirectly, through RippleNet, we also knew that the implementation of ISO 20022 would not directly impact the price. That's exactly right. It's exactly how I've seen it. As I said, exactly what we said on this channel, ISO 20022 is going live, is about messaging. However, that being said, ISO 20022 does allow for new APIs and the coding of new digital assets to be incorporated into the financial system. Give us that crypto legislation we need to become law, and then we'll see the fireworks we all have wanted to see for so long. And a reminder here, you know how we know that the fireworks aren't going? Because this hitting $3.01 isn't it at my house. Now, you might be excited and say it is at yours, but it's just not for me. It's not for me because I know that between Volante, Ripple, and XRP, FedWire, the largest source of present-day transaction volume, goes into the quadrillions. That's what we know. And we haven't seen that because we're still at 296. And that's okay for me, because for me, I understand that we still have a November deadline. Remember, major confirmation directly from SWIFT, no more delays. A November 25 deadline for ISO 20022 migration is final and will not move. And that really brings another point, because we could have legislation become law by then. And that might be a window to pay attention to, because we can't lose sight of the fact that once the world is allowed to use stable coins, crypto assets, XRP, ADA, Solana, Bitcoin, and the rest of it for whatever they choose, because the rules of the road are very clear, this market will never look the same again, ever in life. That's the moment that's coming. And I hope everyone's prepared for it, and I hope you have a plan. Now, with that being said, the next generation of finance is happening on blockchain. Well, let's hear exactly what they say is coming with these landmark bills.
The House this week is going forward with Crypto Week, and I know you're a member of House Financial Services. What should we expect as we look forward to Crypto Week in the House?
Well, the great thing is we're going to show that Republicans can govern. This has been an issue that's been floating out there. Too many other countries are taking advantage of this opportunity economically. Fortunately, we have French Hill in the House. I'm the whip of that committee. French Hill is the chairman. He's done a masterful job of bringing this thing for a landing. First, we're working on stable coins, but the bigger part is going to be what we call clarity. I mean, we want to make sure the crypto technology, or the blockchain as they call it, is regulated in a smart way. Make sure the rules are smart so you know who is going to regulate you. The prior 4 years was chaos. Companies would not come to the United States because there was no clarity. We're going to work with the Senate to get this across the line, because America needs to be the center point of this opportunity. This will reduce costs for businesses and will make it more transparent as well. And in the end, I think will speed up the way we move money at a lower cost. It's a brilliant idea that needs to come together. The president is fully engaged, and it will show again, America is the epicenter of the economy around the world.
For folks at home who may not be paying attention to crypto so much, how big is it getting to be in this country?
Oh, it's a huge industry, and it's growing by the day. Trillions of dollars are being traded, and unfortunately, some of the biggest crypto companies are in places like Singapore, the UAE, and El Salvador. We need to bring them here to America, the economic center of the world. But because we failed to put some legislation in place, and the prior administration was so, let's just say, disjointed, French Hill and the team here in Washington is really moving forward, and it's going to make us the crypto capital of the world, and that is the future of currency.
The House.
That is the future of currency. There you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's anything else to say. Now, we're going into the Freedom Zone for a very, very quick little segment, but it could be the kind of segment that affects every single American, regardless of where you live. No doubt about it. I hope you will join us. Click that join button under any video and come on in. For less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month, you get every single daily video with 0 Google ads, ladies and gentlemen. That's worth the price of admission and the extra content and conversations we have as well. I will catch all of you inside. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Come on in. All